You know, if you've ever been told that a perfect pistol grip is just about squeezing as hard as you can, well, you've only heard part of the story. Today, we are going way beyond that. We're diving deep into the science, the physics, and the biomechanics that really separates a good grip from a truly great one. And it all starts with understanding what exactly you're trying to control.
I mean, let's be real. That's what's happening, isn't it? Every single time you pull the trigger, you are managing a tiny, controlled explosion just inches from your face. And getting that right, that's not about brute strength. It's about mastering physics.
And the fundamental force we're wrestling with here is recoil. It's just Newton's third law in action, plain and simple. The bullet rockets forward, so the gun has to push backward. That's it. Every single thing we do with our grip, every bit of technique, is all about one thing: managing that powerful, fundamental law of nature as efficiently as possible.
Right, so if we're going to control the gun, we first have to understand the gun. So let's get into the physics of it. Let's break down exactly what's happening during that incredibly violent, split-second event we call recoil.
It all happens so fast you can barely see it. First, you get the impulse, that's the explosion, which sends the slide rocketing backward. Then phase 2, the recoil spring compresses, soaking up all that energy. And finally, phase 3, the spring expands again, slamming the slide forward to chamber the next round. Your grip has to somehow stabilize the gun through that entire violent back-and-forth cycle.
So, how do most of us try to control that chaos? Well, instinctively, we usually fall back on the traditional wisdom. You know the one. It's basically just a simple hard squeeze.
This old-school method basically treats the gun like something you just need to clamp down on. You're just pushing in from both sides, creating this kind of vice-like pressure. And sure, it feels stable, but think about it for a second. The recoil is pushing the gun backward and up, but you're squeezing it side to side. You're not even fighting in the right direction.
Which really leads to the big question, doesn't it? If the gun is moving front to back and up and down, does just squeezing harder from the sides really make any sense? Or is there a smarter way to work with the physics instead of just trying to overpower it? And that is where this modern scientific approach comes into play. Instead of just clamping down on the gun, this new model is all about actively aiming your force to intercept and manage recoil right at the source. Okay, this right here shows the huge paradigm shift we're talking about. The traditional grip, it's a simple vice grip. You're just applying side-to-side force. But this updated vector model, it's more like a shock absorber. The force is convergent. It's directed inward and forward, with the very specific goal of channeling the recoil, not just trying to block it.
So where do you aim all this force? You direct it right here, at what the source material calls the ballistic epicenter. That's the exact spot where the barrel and the slide meet. Think of it as ground zero for the explosion. By aiming your muscular force right at that point, you are meeting the recoil head-on, right where it starts.
So why is this new model so much more effective? Well, it's because we stop treating our body like a simple clamp and start using it for what it is: a fully integrated biological system designed to absorb and direct force. The end goal here is to create stability in all three dimensions. We're talking about transforming your grip into a seriously sophisticated piece of biomechanical engineering. And here's how that actually works. This shows it perfectly. You're creating balanced, opposing forces across all 6 planes of movement. You've got your up and down forces, sure. You've got your side-to-side clamshell pressure. But the real game changer is that front-to-back push-pull tension that directly fights the recoil impulse.
I mean, this quote from the source really just nails it. You're not just holding the gun anymore. You are building a custom-fit, 6-sided vise using your own anatomy. With that kind of balanced pressure, the gun has literally nowhere to go, which minimizes all that unwanted movement during the firing cycle.
And that force, it doesn't just stop in your hands. It gets transferred and dissipated all the way up through your upper body in what's called the kinetic chain. It travels from your hands, up your forearm, gets stabilized by your shoulder, and is finally absorbed by your torso and core. Your entire upper body becomes a suspension system, safely channeling all that energy.
So, what's the payoff for all this science? What do you actually get? Well, it's not just theory. This approach leads to real, tangible benefits in both your performance on the range and, just as important, your long-term health.
When you actually align your grip with physics, you get less muzzle flip. That means your sights get back on target faster. And because you're using your bone structure to do the heavy lifting instead of just muscle, you get tired less quickly. Your body learns a single, repeatable way to handle recoil, making you way more consistent shot after shot.
But this might just be the most important benefit of all, and it's one we don't talk about enough. This isn't just about getting better scores today. It's about being able to practice and train for years to come without developing chronic, painful injuries.
See, by channeling that recoil impulse along your bones, you take all that repetitive stress off of your more delicate tendons and joints, and that directly helps prevent a lot of common overuse injuries, things like golfer's elbow or tendinitis in the wrist. This is what lets you shoot safely and sustainably for the long haul.
So, after we've looked at all the physics, the biomechanics, the anatomy, when you boil it all down, what is the single most important thing to take away from all of this?
It's this right here. A truly effective grip is not a contest of strength against the gun. It's a partnership. It's about intelligently aligning your body's natural structure with the gun's mechanical forces until you achieve this perfect state of balance and control. It's all about working smarter, not just squeezing harder.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. The next time you pick up your firearm, take a moment and ask yourself, is my grip just holding the gun, or is it directing the physics? The answer just might change everything for you. Thanks for checking this out.